Well, well, well. Look what the Graveling dug up this week. I have an absolute mind blower for you this time. But first,
let me introduce you to our very first contestant for
Know That Zombie Film.
Aaron, please tell us a little bit about yourself.
Well, I work in IT and I'm a huge movie fanatic.
Excellent. And what makes you think that you're a competing contender on Know That Zombie Film?
Well, as a huge movie fanatic, I love zombie movies.
Well, let's see if that works to your advantage. Here are the rules. I will give you 3 guesses to name that zombie film. If you know that zombie film on the first guess, you
can take your friends for a fun time off-roading in this 2008 Jeep Wrangler. I live, I ride, I am Jeep. It's a Jeep thing.
Nice, right?
Awesome.
Miss the first question, and you'll give me a hand.
Well, that's easy.
No, honey, you'll really give me a hand. Miss the second question, and you give me a foot. Miss the third question, and well, Aaron, let's just say you don't want to lose that handsome little head of yours. But Aaron, you can win back any of your body parts. Silly me. Well, almost any of your body parts by answering the subsequent questions correctly. So, are you ready to play Know That Zombie Film?
I think I'm just going to take off.
Listen, we're live. You leave now, I eat you now. So, Aaron, are you ready to play Know That Zombie Film?
I don't really have a choice, do I?
You're so funny. You always have a choice. Okay, here's your first question. This movie was released in January of 2009, but not in the U.S.
2009, not released in the United States. Is it Titanic?
Ooh, sorry, Aaron, but that's wrong.
Oh my God, my head! What are you doing? Oh, it's the bone!
Oh, that Aaron, he sure is a bleeder. It smells so good, though. I hope he loses. All right, Aaron, here's your second hint. This Norwegian film has only been seen in 2 U.S. theaters for its U.S. release in June of 2009.
2009 Norwegian film. Is it Caddyshack?
Ouch! Another wrong answer!
Oh my God! You're cutting my foot off now! Oh God! Oh God! No! It hurts!
Okay, Aaron, last question. Don't lose your head. That never gets old. The rest of the U.S. zombie fanatics everywhere waited in anticipation 8 more months for this Nazi zombie movie to be finally widely released in the U.S., but only on DVD format.
2009 Nazi zombie. It's Dead Snow. It's Dead Snow. It's Dead Snow, bitch. It's Dead Snow.
All right. Calm down there, Haas. You are correct. Tell him what he's won.
Aaron, you've won! Your foot and hand back to be reattached by the hospital of your choice. Looks like no meal for Zombie Chick this week.
Congratulations, Aaron. And we hope to see you next time on
Know That Zombie Film.
Dead Snow, the 2009 Norwegian film with Nazi zombies. This movie is about a group of friends that go up to a cabin for their Easter break. We have Martin, the hemophobic med student, his girlfriend Hannah, who is claustrophobic, her cousin Chris, who is very single, Liv, the quiet, shy girl, Arlen, who is an immense movie nerd, Roy, who is described as the horniest guy north of the Arctic Circle, Vegard, the hot sporty one, and his girlfriend Sarah, whom the cabin belongs to and is a little bit more sporty than the rest and decides to ski across the mountains instead of drive, and whom starts our movie. Now, in case I need to tell you, Sarah never sees her friends again. After they park the cars, they still have a 45-minute walk to the cabin. So Vegard snow scooters ahead because he knows the way and to get the cabin warm for his friends. While
Hey, a question for you.
Yeah, Arlen?
How many movies start with people on a trip to a cabin without any service on their mobile?
You're right. And if I were you, I would turn back now. I was going to say that while Vegard is scootering ahead, there are tracks in the snow, but when he gets to the cabin, there's no one there. You're in a desolate area, and a good assumption would be that those tracks belong to the only person that you're expecting. Why don't you guys get nervous at Sarah's lack of presence? Instead, you guys choose to have a little fun. It does look like a good time, I'll give you that. It brings back wonderful memories of Thanksgiving Mayo trips with friends. Good times. The only thing that creeped me out while staying up there was... Oh, here, yeah, we have a clip. Using the outhouse at night, and the fact that it was freezing cold outside just made it worse. There is just something inherently scary about exposing your holiest of holies over a pitch black pit of unknowing. The friends have an unexpected visitor. The visitor gives the kids a history lesson of the area. During World War II, Einsatz were stationed in Oxford with the devil at its lead, Colonel Herzog. Colonel Herzog and his troops committed some amazingly horrific crimes against the inhabitants of Oxford. During the end of the war, when Germany's defeat was imminent, Colonel Herzog and his troops pillaged the town, taking anything of value. Deny the troops, and you're shot between the eyes. That night, the villagers decided enough was enough, gathered whatever weapons they had, and assaulted the Einsatz camp at night, killing many. Colonel Herzog and some men were able to flee into the mountains, taking the loot with them. The villagers tried to follow, but soon lost trail. It's believed that all froze to death. But local superstition claims that there is still an evil presence lurking in those mountains, and all who visit should tread lightly. The visitor sees that his story falls on young, deaf ears, and he decides to leave, but not without losing his temper.
It's too bad no one's taught us how to cure evil yet. I think we get that next semester.
If you stand with your own intestines in your hands, then what will you do?
The next morning, Vegard decides to go out and look for his girlfriend Sarah.
Hi.
But instead, finds their visitor from last night frozen and disemboweled. Okay, let's stop and look at this. How many horror movies do start off with a group of friends in the middle of nowhere and no cell phone signal? How many horror movies have some creepy guy just pop up and reveal the spooky history of a location? How many horror movies have one guy off by himself finding a dead body? In all of our horror movie common sense, Vegard should be turning his nice little butt around and getting his friends out of there. But instead, let's go follow the bloody foot tracks. That sounds like a fabulous I'm not going to be killed idea. Meanwhile, back at the cabin, the rest are just hanging out and drinking beer. Arlen goes to grab another one when he discovers... Okay, stop. Another red flag here, folks. A bunch of valuables. One of them a 1931 Nazi military medal. But my favorite? The skull and crossbones, meaning, get the hell out of there! They decide to play with the money and jewels and things get, well, deadly. Of course, the first one to get it in any horror movie is the dirty little girl that initiates happenings with Arlen in the outhouse. Gross. Anyway, Chris realizes my worst outhouse fear. See? It's scary, right? I'm not the only one. She climbs out of the hole and tries to make her way back to the cabin screaming for help, but her screams go unheeded due to the music being played too loudly inside. When they do realize something is amiss, it's too late. The guys grab the shotgun over the door and head out to try to find her. And the only thing they find is Sarah's bag.
Where'd you find it?
It was in the snow. I found it outside. I've got a bad feeling about this.
You think? It's decided that they need to get dressed to go outside and start looking for Chris and Sarah. While the guys are arguing, Hannah looks out the kitchen window.
Would you want to be left out there? Oh, thank God. You got it.
She gets an eyeful and the realization starts to sink in. At long last, finally, the movie knowledge is coming into play.
Don't get bitten. Don't get bitten, okay?
A little too late, though, I'd say. And Arlen, taken away. The rest of the friends make it through the night and decide that two are going to run for help while two act as bait to draw the zombies in the opposite direction and wait in the general vicinity for Vigard to return. Our bait?
You have to do something also!
Yeah. Where are you fucking pussies? What are you, afraid of the daylight, huh? Fuck, they're gonna be really pissed. That was a bit too much.
Thompson runs. Meanwhile, Vigard runs across some underground tunnels and decides to, what else? Explore. He finds open graves, artillery, Nazi flag, and...
Sarah?
He gets into a successful rumble with a few zombies. Eventually, he's taken off guard by a zombie and they go over a cliff together. Talk about severe intestinal discomfort. No amount of Tums or Pepto could help that. Vigard ends up getting bit in the neck but is able to throw the zombie off, climb back up to his scooter, and use a fishing hook and line to sew his neck back up. He heads back down to the underground tunnels, turns the scooter into a fighting machine, and races back towards the others. Hannah and Liv are racing towards the car where they think the car should be. They stop to try to find some familiar signs and gather their bearings, but really they're just lost, scared, and confused. Hannah suggests splitting up, and an argument between Liv and Hannah ensues. It's finally decided that they'll run together when, out of the blue, and they end up running their separate ways anyway. Liv unfortunately gets it, but not without disposing of some zombies herself. Hannah tries to hide in a tree, successfully at first I might add, as the zombies pass right beneath her. But then a very irate mama crow sweeps in to protect her eggs. She is able to escape the tree, killing one of the zombies, and she's stopped by a cliff with one zombie still behind her. She does the only thing she can think of. Try to create an avalanche to ride down. It works, but she wakes up buried under snow. And remember, she's the claustrophobic one. She is able to free herself and kill her trapped pursuer to boot. Back at the cabin, Roy and Martin are surrounded by the undead.
No!
Alright guys, if I ever cause an outbreak, you need to be prepared. Please read the Zombie Survival Guide. It specifically states the situations in which you should use fire, as fire is really no deterrent for us the undead. This is one of the ways you do not want to use fire. After a botched 911 call, they head to the shed where they find they prepare for battle and head out. The guard meets up with them. There's a little lull in the fighting and the boys stop to have a convo. You know, the typical, where have you been? Where'd you get a machine gun? Where are the others? That kind of thing. When a pack of zombies attack the guard from behind and, well, the fight is finally over. The battle starts again. Martin is extremely focused. Martin is filled with new vim and vigor and takes out 5 more zombies before he's taken off his feet and bit. Martin begins to panic.
No.
Roy tries to calm him by using his humor.
Isn't your grandfather half Jewish? I don't think they would recruit someone who's half Jewish, would they?
He does the only rational thing he can think of. Colonel Herzog appears to be the only one left, but alas, he calls in more troops. The only option Martin and Roy have at this point is to run. During their getaway, Roy ends up getting knocked in the head with a hammer and stumbling on a tree where he ends up dying where the red fern grows style. Martin turns back to see the zombies rummaging through Roy's pockets and pulling out a pocket watch when it finally hits him that the hidden jewels belong to the zombies, and he runs back towards the cabin to try to find the jewelry box for them. He finds the box just in time, and they let him go. He runs to the car. I know! This movie is amazing. It has everything. A killer soundtrack, great acting, an affinity towards disemboweling. Seriously, there are intestine scenes of all sorts. Fantastic kill scenes. The makeup is very well done and the special effects are great. Now, there were a few special effects scenes that used the green screen and Adobe After Effects type style that I didn't like, but they were extremely minimal and you were right back into the movie immediately following. I love the homages paid to the cult classics in this film, such as Brain Dead, better known as Dead Alive here in the States, Indiana Jones films, and of course the Evil Deads, among some other great classics. It fit in perfectly. It didn't cheese up the movie or fall flat. You know, our zombie campout friend could take some notes on this one. I was thoroughly engaged during every moment of the movie. Let me tell you, when I first saw the trailers to this movie, I was in zombie love. In the 8 months I had to wait for it to be widely released to US audiences drove me absolutely insane. I was so geeked to see this movie, and it definitely lived up to all of my greatest dreams and expectations. Fortune and glory, kid. Fortune and glory. So, let me know what your favorite part of Dead Snow is at zombiechikreviews@gmail.com. Check out LaidOffProductions.com for some of our other shows like Laszlo the MST Guy, and Become a fan of Zombie Chick on Facebook. And remember, as long as I'm doing this, I don't have to go hunting for my brains. I'm a domesticated, sweet little zombie that gets fed. But if I'm no longer supported, then that means I'm back on your streets, hunting your brains. So until next time, I'll see ya.
You don't want to lose that handsome little head of yours. So, are you ready to play? I think I screwed up. Oh, I did.